Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Today, we're diving into one of the most critical parts of any hotel pre-opening plan, building the commercial team. This team is the engine that drives revenue, and we're going to create the blueprint for assembling it from the ground up. We're going to break this down into 5 key sections. We'll start with the big picture, the why, and then we'll drill right down into the specific roles, the staffing models, and the timing. By the end of this, you'll have a clear, practical guide for building a powerful, revenue-generating machine for any new hotel. So, let's get started. All right, first things first, we need to really understand why this team is called the commercial heart of a new hotel. And I'm telling you, it's not just a fancy name, it's the absolute core of the business. Think of it like this. The commercial team is the engine room. They're the ones who take all that interest out there, all that demand, and convert it, dollar by dollar, into profitable revenue. Without this team firing on all cylinders, a hotel just can't make it financially. It's that simple. Now, this isn't something you can just wing a few weeks before opening. No way. This planning starts a full 9 to 6 months out, and the stakes are incredibly high. If you get the structure wrong from the beginning, you're practically guaranteeing internal conflicts, you're going to miss revenue targets, and you'll be leaving money on the table. A disciplined, strategic approach here, it's completely non-negotiable. So, how do we build this team with that kind of discipline? Well, it all starts with something called strategic manpower planning. This is all about using a very specific model to make sure you have exactly the right people in the right seats at exactly the right time. And the foundation for all of this is the demand-based staffing model. The old way was just to pick a number of employees out of a hat. We're not doing that. This is a dynamic strategy. It means you align your staffing levels directly with your projected business demand, thinking about your busy seasons, your slow seasons, and where your bookings are actually coming from. And to make that model really work, you need the right data, the right variables. You have to ask the big questions. What's our projected call volume going to be? Are we pushing for direct bookings on our own website, or are we going to rely on online travel agents, the Expedias and Booking.coms of the world? And critically, we need what's called a relief factor to account for all the real-world stuff, breaks, vacation time, and training. Now this number, 1.3 to 1.5, this is a key industry metric you need to know. It's that relief factor we just talked about. It basically means that for every single full-time agent you need to cover the phones, you actually have to hire between 1.3 and 1.5 people. Why? Well, people need breaks, they take holidays, they get sick, they need training. This is how you make absolutely sure your revenue center is never left uncovered. Okay, so once we have our staffing model, we can finally start defining the key players, the who. And believe me, understanding who does what is absolutely vital. It prevents the kind of turf wars and confusion that can totally cripple a commercial team before it even gets off the ground. This right here is probably the most important distinction you need to get right. The difference between the revenue manager and the reservations manager. Think of the revenue manager as strategic and analytical. They are the guardian of the rate, defining the why and the what of your pricing strategy. The reservations manager, on the other hand, is operational. They're the guardian of the experience, managing the how and the who of the entire booking process. They are two very different but equally crucial leadership roles. So let's zoom in on the revenue manager. This role is all about strategy, it's about data, and it's about understanding market dynamics. You could almost call them the architect of your hotel's entire profitability plan. So what are they actually doing before the hotel opens? Their world is all about systems and strategy. They're the ones finalizing your competitive set, configuring all the complex rules in the revenue management system, auditing every single rate to make sure it's loaded correctly, and constantly analyzing demand forecasts. Their number one skill has to be a deep, high-level proficiency in data analysis and economics. Now, let's flip over to their counterpart, the reservations manager. If the revenue manager is the strategist, the reservations manager is the commander on the ground, focused on flawless execution and leading the team. Their pre-opening checklist is all about the practical, hands-on stuff. They're writing the standard operating procedures, they're designing the call scripts, setting up the actual tech, we're talking phones, headsets, the works. And, most importantly, they are training the team that will be the voice of your hotel to future guests. Their core skill? It's all about people, communication, and leadership. And that brings us to the reservations agents themselves. Now, it is a huge mistake to see these folks as just simple order takers. They are your frontline sales force. They are directly responsible for turning a simple inquiry into actual, tangible revenue. Before day one, these agents go through an intensive training boot camp. They're performing crucial user acceptance testing on the booking systems to find any bugs before a guest does. They process hundreds of dummy bookings to make sure every step in the system is perfect. Their job requires this amazing blend of persuasive selling skills and absolutely meticulous attention to detail. So we've covered the what and the who. But honestly, maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle is the when. Getting the timing of these hires right is the secret sauce to a smooth and successful commercial launch. Just take a look at this timeline. The planning kicks off way out at 9 months. But look closely. See that critical window? Your revenue manager and your reservations manager must be on board 6 months before you open. I mean it, that's a hard deadline. The agents who report to them, you don't even start hiring them for another 3 months. So you might be asking, why in the world do we pay these leaders for 6 months before we even open? It's a fair question, and the answer is simple. They're not there to watch. They are there to build. They need to be actively involved in selecting the systems, creating the rate codes, and writing the actual procedures they will eventually own. This integration of planning and execution is a core principle, one endorsed by top institutions like Europe Hotel School London, and it is essential for a seamless launch. Okay, let's bring all of this together. We're going to wrap it all up into a final actionable blueprint for your success. This is the key takeaway you can bring with you into your career. Here it is, your 4-step blueprint. It's that straightforward. Number 1, build your staffing model based on projected demand, not guesswork. 2, clearly define and separate the strategic role of the revenue manager from the operational role of the reservations manager. 3, hire that leadership team 6 to 8 months out. And finally, number 4, empower them. Let them build the very foundation that they will be responsible for managing. Because at the end of the day, the goal of this whole discipline process is actually quite simple. It's to have a commercial team that is fully staffed, expertly trained, and perfectly synchronized before you welcome that very first guest. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive. So now you have the blueprint, you have the strategy, and you have the timeline. The real question isn't what to do anymore, it's how will you apply this knowledge to build a powerful, profitable engine for your hotel's success. Thank you for your time. I look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry.